Hello, my name is Issan Ghazni, and I'd like to start off by thanking the SLF for the opportunity to produce this video. In my time in the party, I've been involved in a number of leadership roles, both at local level and at national level, and I've actually worked at Cowley Street for 3 years. On top of that, I was previously a parliamentary candidate for Nottingham East. However, if you want to know more about me and my past, my history, my politics, you need to get onto my website, which is www.issanghazni.co.uk. So why do I want to be the MEP for the East Midlands? Well, I'm really passionate about Europe, but at the same time I have real concerns over the levels of Euroscepticism that I see out there on a day-to-day basis. I am extremely worried that the negativity will have an adverse impact on our interests, both in terms of our business interests, in terms of jobs, employment, in terms of inward investment and the environment. I want to be involved in that debate. I believe I have something to offer that debate, and I believe that I can be a good representative for the East Midlands. I'm not convinced that Britain has been good in the past in terms of influencing Europe. If you look at the way the press deal with the Liberal Democrats, they see us as cheerleaders for Europe, and that's regardless of the circumstances that we find ourselves or the circumstances in which we operate. Now that can't be true, because we know as Liberal Democrats that there are issues, serious issues indeed, that need to be addressed in Europe. So what I'm saying is that we need a much more nuanced view. Where there are good things happening in Europe, we say we support them, and where there are bad things happening in Europe, we should challenge them. So what will I bring to this role? I'll bring a new level of thinking, a new way of thinking. I'll bring a new approach. I'll bring fresh ideas, and I'll bring a fresh pair of eyes. Remember, I've worked at the highest level in a range of organisations across the public, private and charitable sectors. So I'm not constrained by working purely at a local level, or purely at a regional level, or working purely at a national level. I also have a breadth of experience of understanding political processes. I worked for 3 years at party headquarters, and I worked with politicians, I worked within the parliamentary process, and I understand how political processes operate, I understand how decisions are made, and I would bring all of that experience to this role. I also have experience of working at the top of some big organisations, and those organisations were ones where I've led people, I've led resources, and I've led programmes of work. I've developed policy as well. So I have a lot to bring from my professional background. Also, I will bring leadership to this role. I will make myself visible, I will be seen, and I will be available for all the members of the region and all the local parties. As well as that, I will work hard to build infrastructure in the East Midlands. I think it's very important that we build local parties up, we build constituency parties up, and we make sure that the resources are in place and the support is in place, particularly around campaigning material and around resources for the campaigns that we need to win some of the by-elections, such as Corby. So what's my vision for Europe? I want a Europe that is more liberal, that is a fairer society. It's a society where everybody feels valued and treated as equal human beings. I want a Europe that promotes democracy and human rights throughout the world. I want us to be able to use the influence and the economic might of the European Union to be able to influence how other countries throughout the world promote human rights and promote democracy, whether that be in Eastern Europe, whether that be in Africa, or whether that be in Asia or the Middle East. I want a Europe that's economically strong. I want a Europe which we can use to be able to overcome some of the deficit in jobs and the underinvestment that's taken place over the last few years. I want a Europe that will champion environmentalism throughout the world. Again, we are able to use the economic might of Europe to be able to promote environmental values in third world countries. I also want to make sure that we understand the difference between centralisation and localism, and I want to make sure that more and more powers are given to local communities to be able to decide how they want to carry decision making to Europe, so that we can fight the increasing levels of Euroscepticism that we see around us.